Let's take a look at the beginning of this puzzling story. I've seen it all. Who can stay in the hole for a whole month? Maybe Andy is the only innocent prisoner. That day, Tommy received a letter from the ed. Actually passed the exam and got his diploma. Tommy shared this news with Andy, who had a smug smile on his face. That night, the warden summoned Tommy for a talk and brought him to the restricted area, saying he'd help Andy but must verify Thomas' claim. Are you willing to put your hand on the Bible before this becomes a scam? And pray to God for a chance. However, what was going through my mind was that Thomas' story came to an end under the sheriff's gun. The warden publicly claimed Tommy was shot while trying to escape, but Andy knew better who would escape with only 6 months left. Andy had had enough of everything and made up his mind to no longer assist the warden in money laundering. He said, "The school has burned down and been buried. Do you understand what I'm trying to convey? You chase my loneliness, or what else should I do? Wait another month." 2 months confinement could drive anyone mad. Andy emerged a changed man, repenting his sins. If he hadn't pushed his wife away, maybe she wouldn't have died. Someday, if he could leave prison, Andy dreamt of a place called the Huertanillo. Located in SW, Mexico, east of the Pacific, it's dubbed the Sea of Forgetfulness. Just open a fish shack by the beach. Buy a rickety boat to take tourists out to sea. That's the life Andy dreams of. But Red had different thoughts. Having spent most of his life in Shawshank, he was shaped by prison life. He might end up like old Bush after getting out. Andy told Red, "When you're paroled." There's a beautifully painted elephant tree at the northern end. That's where Andy proposed. Beneath the stone wall, something is buried for Red. Andy didn't answer. He just turned and left. Red was really worried about Andy's mental state, afraid he might snap and do something foolish. Red suddenly remembered Andy asked for a piece of rope today, which tensed everyone up. That night, after handling the warden's legal accounts, Andy entered the safe. The warden ordered him to wash her clothes and polish shoes. He complied. Back in his cell, Andy pulled out the rope, seeming to make a determination. Red couldn't sleep all night, fearing Andy might take drastic measures. The next day, the guards did their usual roll call, but Andy was nowhere to be found. When they checked his cell, he had vanished without a trace. Meanwhile, the prison warden opened up a shoebox, only to discover Andy's sneakers inside. It was not until he stumbled upon the secret hidden behind the poster that he finally realized Andy had already escaped from prison. The guards immediately launched a manhunt, but only found Andy's jumpsuit and a small rock hammer in a nearby ditch. From the moment Andy realized his strength was futile, he planned his escape, using a poster to hide the wall and digging after lights out. And while exercising, he hid the rubble in his pants. This operation lasted a full 20 years until Tommy was killed by the warden, and Andy realized this was a man-eating prison. So, after finishing the dirty work, while the warden opened the safe, he secretly switched the ledgers and slipped in the warden's shoes. Even the guards failed to notice Andy's shoes. After lights out, he put the ledger in a plastic bag and quickly crawled through the dug wall. According to Red, it would take at least 600 people to break out with a rock hammer, but Andy just wanted to dig from his cell to the sewage pipe. Under the cover of the thunderous sound, he repeatedly struck a rusty iron pipe with a stone until he was able to squeeze himself through. Andy crawled all the way along the pipe. The smell in the pipe was indescribable. After crawling half a kilometer, he finally reached a small ditch outside the prison. 20 years in prison, and now he was finally tasting freedom. That was the escape that shocked the nation. Soon after, Andy became a ghost and went to the bank to withdraw his $1 million account. He asked the bank manager to send a file to the newspaper, which contained all his records of shady dealings. The warden's deeds were quickly exposed. The police rushed to the prison. The warden tried to destroy the evidence, only to find that the ledger had turned into the Bible and Andy's last message for him. When he opened it, he understood everything. Turns out, the rock hammer used for the escape was hidden in the Bible. Sheriff Hadley was the first to be apprehended. The warden drew a gun for a final fight, but the deafening knock made him give up. He knew his sins were great. So he resolutely pointed the gun at himself. Afterwards, Red received a postcard which had a postmark from Hancock Fort in Texas. A quick check on the map revealed it was located on the southern border of the U.S. At that moment, Andy had already escaped to Mexico, becoming the talk of the town. Everyone was genuinely happy for Andy. In the 40th year of Red's sentence, he was called for parole again. When the parole officer asked if he had reformed, Red was momentarily stunned. He responded again and again and again. "What do you think I ought to do?" I cast my mind back to reflect upon the person I once was. A young and foolish kid has committed a felony. I would like to have a chat with him. I want to tell him the true state of affairs, but I can't. That kid is long gone. This old guy is all that remains. I need to talk to him and start over, but this is just a one-sided crush. So go get your ID. Don't waste my time because I'm telling you the truth. I've given him nothing. If you have enjoyed our show, please make sure to subscribe to our channel.